everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I asked you guys on Instagram what kind of videos you would want to see from me, and the most popular response was stories, college stories in particular. So I realized I have never really done a good video about something that happened to me that was absolutely crazy. I have a great story. And I actually made a video about this when I was just starting out on my channel in like 2012, and it was horrible quality. I left out tons of details. So I watched it back and I didn't tell like the whole story at all. I think I was nervous too because it was so fresh, but now it's like 4 years later and I really could care less. So I'm gonna tell you guys about my awful roommate experience and what exactly happened. So rewind to August of 2011. I was a freshman just starting college and I shared my dorm room with 4 other girls. So I didn't get to pick them or anything. They were just my roommates. Let's just call them Natalie, Tiffany, and Amanda. So on one side of the room there were 2 separate bedrooms for Natalie. She had one and then I had one. And then the other side of the room there was like a living room and a bathroom and everything, and they actually shared a room. We both had our own separate rooms. They shared a room. It doesn't really matter. So anyway, it's our first like weekend in college. We'd all got there. We're kind of getting to know each other. We were all like trying to be friends, and you know how it is with roommates. It's kind of awkward at first, just like sharing this space you've never shared before. And I got along great with Amanda and Natalie, and for some reason when I met Tiffany, she just looked at me like she didn't trust me. Like I couldn't like break through to her. I would try to be nice to her. I remember I even painted her nails like one of the first nights, and I tried so hard to be her friend, and she just constantly, to all of us, she was just like really like uneasy. I'm not normally like that with people. I tend to be very trusting when I first meet people, or at least give them a chance, and I just felt like she automatically didn't like us or didn't trust us, which was just so fucking weird. So about 3 or 4 days into us living together, Natalie asked Tiffany if she could borrow this red plastic bowl. It was like for popcorn. It's just probably some cheap bowl from Walmart, not a big deal. And she said yes, she said she could borrow it, so she brought it down to the common area, which is like, it had a big TV and like a kitchen, and everyone could kind of share it with like all the dorms. She ended up leaving the popcorn bowl down there. So the next day, Natalie and me, which we were kind of like becoming closer than everyone else in the room, so we were like sort of hanging out, laying on the floor in our dorm. I don't remember what we were doing, maybe looking at a magazine, but we were talking on the floor, and then Tiffany came in the dorm and instantly started just bitching out Natalie, like,
"You left my popcorn bowl down there, like you don't respect my things, how fucking dare you?"
Like screaming at her, and we were just like, So I finally said something, like, dude, it's just a popcorn bowl, like let's all relax. I tried to just calm everyone down because it was getting really dramatic over this fucking popcorn bowl. And Tiffany just gave me the worst death stare ever, just like this evil fucking look, and went in her room, slammed the door. So that's when I knew I was gonna have some issues with Tiffany. So then it was just like game on. Everything that we did, Tiffany didn't like. We didn't fold the towels the right way. She accused us of using one of her towels. She would get on us about cleaning the sink if there was like a piece of dust in it. Like everything was a fight. Everything was a fight. And normally when you meet new people, you know, you're trying to not be like super dramatic about everything so that you can coexist for the next year, because this is all within the first week. After me standing up to her, we definitely had the most tension in the room than anyone else. It was about 5 days into being at college, and I got onto Facebook, and I was friends with all of them on Facebook, all my roommates, and something comes up on my news feed, and it's a picture of Tiffany like, and then wrote, "To my new roommates." Fun way to start things off, you know. I went out into the common area and she was in her room with the door open, and I was like, dude, what the fuck was with that Facebook post? Why did you post that? Like, why do you hate us so much? So she came out and started yelling at us, saying we were messy and like we were terrible roommates and we're annoying, and just like, yeah. So I was just like, you are such a bad person. I remember telling her, you're not gonna make any friends in college, and then I went in my room and slammed the door, and she screamed to me,
"Your weight made the door shut."
So back then, I wasn't as confident with my body as I am now. I've learned to accept and love myself the way I am. But back in college, I was just getting over my eating disorder and just trying to learn how to accept myself and really struggling with body confidence. So that just broke me down. I was so upset. She would write bitch on pieces of paper, put it on my door. One time she put a bunch of trash, like just like bags of trash in front of my door, my bedroom door. Tiffany just wanted to fight. She wanted to find any reason to fight. She's just one of those people that like feeds off drama, you know? So probably about 2 days later, it was like probably 1 a.m. and Natalie had just gotten home from this party. She was really drunk, and she asked me to help her with this art project. So I was helping her do the art project, and we were sitting on the like floor between our 2 rooms since we were on the one side of the room. And Tiffany was laying in the dark, talking to like a guy on the phone, but we didn't even know she was there because it was so like dark. I didn't even see her. And she screamed at us like normal and was like, shut the fuck up. You're being so fucking annoying. And that's when I decided I was not about to deal with this bitch all year. So I decided to write a letter to my RA. I sent her the picture that she posted on Facebook. I wrote up all the things that she'd been saying to me, all the things that she'd been doing, told her about the trash, told her about everything. And so they decided to have a roommate mediation with us. We all have to sit in our dorm like children with our RAs like the first week of school. Is so embarrassing. And she sits down and says, no need to have a roommate talk. I'm actually gonna move out. We were like, great, you're just gonna move. That's awesome. Go your way, we'll go our way. We won't talk, we just don't like each other. That's fine, you move out, that's no big deal. So I was super psyched that she was moving out. So I slept really good that night, and the next morning I woke up to Nicki Minaj Roman's Revenge at 5 in the morning while she was showering, and it was blaring like super loud. So she woke up everyone in the dorm. Okay, she's moving out today. But as the day progressed, I noticed she didn't pack up any of her stuff. She didn't do anything. So I was like, are you still moving? And then she was like,
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not letting you guys win.
So I was like, oh, great. So guess what? We had to have another roommate mediation because we were gonna be living together. So we had to start all over again. The RAs had to come back in. We had to meet up and we discussed everything. I told them like why I was so upset, and they agreed that we could kind of like live together without really talking, and we set ground rules for cleaning and who can do what and like music times and all that crap that you deal with in a room. So I thought like, okay, maybe this will work out. So a couple days actually went by, probably 3 days of us just kind of like getting through. We didn't talk to each other. There was a lot of door slamming and dirty looks. So I thought everything, you know, it wasn't perfect, but at least we were like not fighting all the time. So I was in a class on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9. And so I was in that class and I got a call from the police department. It was the school's police department, which I had programmed in my phone because they made you in the beginning of the year. And I was like, what the fuck? So I asked my teacher if I could go and call them back. So she let me go out to the hallway and call them back. And I was like, hi, I just got a call from the police department. What's going on? Yes, are you aware of the threats that have been made against you? What? Like what threats? And I instantly thought of Tiffany. Like this bitch, she probably strapped a bomb to my car. Like what the fuck did she do this time? My class was actually like right next door to the police department, so they asked if after my class I could meet them outside and they could follow me back to my dorm. I drove to my class because no one like walks to their class at night where I went to school because it was really sketchy and dangerous. So when I got back to my building, I walked in and there was a police officer standing with me walking in, brought me into this conference room, and I sat down and my RA was in there and she was just like, so do you have any idea what happened? And I was like, no. So one of the police officers was just like,
Tiffany, your roommate, she peed in your mouthwash.
So of course I freaked out. Apparently she did it 3 days ago at this point, and I had been using my mouthwash every single day. So I flipped the fuck out. I started crying. I was so disgusted. I just wanted to go brush my teeth. And not only that, but she put Nair in my shampoo. She threatened to have people come take care of me. So that was the threat. And she also wiped her ass on Natalie's towels. Like who does shit like this? Basically how they found out about this was our other roommate Amanda knew all of these things for a long time, like a week or so, or the mouthwash thing for a couple days, and she was too afraid to tell anyone because she was also afraid of her, and I think she was trying to be on her good side. Thank God I didn't use the shampoo with Nair in it. Apparently that happened that day, and that's when Amanda decided to tell because she didn't want, like you can burn your eyes. It's like, it's really bad for you to have that all over your face. They're trying to find her because Amanda told us that she was at Walmart trying to buy new mouthwash to replace mine so that she wouldn't get caught, because I guess she started catching on or something. She may have seen a police car outside. So they told me that I had to stay in the conference room until she came back and they were able to get her or whatever, deal with her. So she comes in the dorm with some of her friends and the mouthwash that she bought, went upstairs, went in the room, and like the police saw her doing this, so they're like, okay, we're gonna go upstairs and get her. So I just sit in the conference room and wait for this all to unfold. Upstairs, Amanda and Natalie were supposed to just wait in the dorm and like act like everything was fine. So they were up there, and so this is how I know it happened. The police went up to our room and asked her if she could come downstairs because they had a couple questions for her, and I guess she refused to do it. So after a couple minutes of pleading with her, trying to get her to come down, the police woman gave up, arrested her, put her hands behind her back, arrested her, and brought her down. So all these people in the dorm saw her with handcuffs on. Everyone wanted to know. There were so many people like out in the lobby of the dorm because everyone wanted to know why the police were here and what was going on and why I was stuck in the conference room. So I knew that they were bringing her down, so I was just waiting, and I was so scared. I didn't want her to see me. I was looking out the window of the conference room at the elevator, and when it opened, she just looked straight at me. She gave me the scariest look I've ever seen. It scared me to my core. They brought her into another conference room, and then I don't know what happened in there. I obviously wasn't in there, but they told me that I should probably leave tonight, go somewhere safe, maybe a friend's dorm, and luckily my fiance Josh, he lived like 5 minutes away in an apartment. So he came, picked me up, and I actually took my other 2 roommates, Amanda and Natalie, with me to his house that we could all be safe for the night. We stayed there, and they put her in her own solitary dorm for the night, and she eventually had to move all her stuff when we weren't there, and she moved into this own dorm by herself until they could figure out what to do. Police officer told me that I had the right to press charges against her and get a restraining order, and so I didn't feel the need to press charges against her. There's no need, so I decided to just go forward with a restraining order. The next day I drove to the courthouse by myself. I can't believe I did all this as a freshman, but I drove to the courthouse, I got the papers, and I had her served with papers, which took a while for them to actually serve her. Probably a month later we had a court date, and she came in with her mom and her grandma and everything, and I was just by myself. I had the other 2 girls there as witnesses, and the judge sided with me and decided that it was completely inappropriate for this college girl to be peeing in people's mouthwash. And you know what? The one thing I've always wondered is how she actually peed in the mouthwash. Did she squat over it and like just pee right in it? Did she like have a funnel? Maybe she like peed in a cup and then poured it in. So she ended up getting removed from the university once the restraining order went through the school because she couldn't be anywhere within 50 feet of me. That's just too hard when we live on a small campus. Like, she's everywhere. We were always gonna be within 50 feet of each other. Apparently she was being really disrespectful to the people working with her on the whole case, and they just decided to expel her. In order to come back to the school or go to any other school, because she had a hold at our school, she would have to go through psychiatric evaluation. I don't know what happened to her. I've never looked her up. She's never bothered me. I mean, because I could call the police if she did. It was probably the craziest experience I've ever had. And I'm just so glad that I got a restraining order, because I think I would have been so terrified of her the rest of the year, knowing that she could have people take care of me. And I don't think I would have had a good college experience knowing she was there. After that, I started keeping my mouthwash in my room because I was so paranoid about someone peeing in it. I never look at mouthwash the same. A couple months later, I started having issues with my other roommate, and if you want to hear the story about what happened with that, it is probably equally as weird. Give this video a thumbs up if you want me to do a video about that, and subscribe if you're not already. Well, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will talk to you next time.
J's on my feet.